So yeah, I don't really want to go through like the basic stuff like, trains are quiet, streets are clean, there's like no trash cans, trains are on time, people are respectful and all that, and the food is great. I think we all know that. I think that's like probably one of the most common things everyone talks about. But I want to talk about the moments where I had to second guess what I was doing. Like, is this the right thing to do? And I personally never watched a social media post regarding that topic. So this is what this video is for. Okay, I'm gonna get to it. All right, one. At least in Tokyo, where I'm staying, dry air. There was like one day where my weather app told me that there was a dry air warning. I didn't even know that warning existed. But yes, it was dry. My thighs were starting to get really crackly, and I had to buy lotion. Oh, and I had to buy, and I bought this lotion, which is actually pretty good. They did not sponsor me, but feel free to sponsor me, Curel. Yeah, it was good. It actually helped me. Now in March it's not so dry, but back in like early January, yeah, air was pretty dry. Alright, smoking. We know Asia tends to smoke a little more. At least in America, I think smoking has kind of gone down. Everyone's vaping, and I'm seeing some vaping here now. But what really shocked me is that there are still like restaurants and cafes that are smoking okay. And I went into this cafe thinking, oh, you can smoke. But then when I walk in there, I realize it's not you can smoke, it's everyone smokes. It was just kind of like a shock to realize that, like, I had to think about that, because in New York, like, it's illegal to smoke in restaurants. Gotta keep an eye out. If it says smoking okay, it just means everyone's smoking inside. This I still struggle with every day. It's, when you're trying to place your order, everyone, they just shout out, so you know what I'm saying, to get the attention of the waiter. And I'm not comfortable with that, because in New York, I feel like I'm waiting to make eye contact with someone and then ordering. So I'm out here trying to look for the eye contact, and it's almost rude to raise your hand up all the way, so you do like a half raise look eye contact, and then you say your thing. But yeah, I'm still not used to doing that. It still feels very rude to like say excuse me to someone who's not like looking at you, to say excuse me to someone who might be already doing something else. That feels rude. All right. Number 4. Okay, holding the door for someone apparently is not common. There have been multiple situations where I've been holding the door for people, and they kind of look at me very confused. I don't think that's common here. No one has really held the door for me yet, ever. But I'm talking about in my perspective, when I try to hold the door for people, people don't really know how to respond. And so I asked a local who I played volleyball with, and he was like, yeah, people don't really hold the door. I also had to Google it because I was just so confused about it. And they're saying like, holding the door for someone might actually come off as rude, because it's like you're forcing them to hurry up. Like you're to like, it's like you're inconveniencing them because they don't want to inconvenience you for holding the door for them. Next up, apparently sarcasm isn't as big here in terms of like using it comedically. Most of the time, like, sarcasm is used here almost like offensively. Like people say like, oh, nice hat, and they say that, but to really be mean about it. But to use sarcasm as a tool for humor, it's more tricky. Like, I think you have to be very obvious about the sarcasm. I think something about the language where it's not common. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, sorry, but that's kind of what I noticed. Eyebrows. People do their eyebrows here. I went to a barber, and like doing the eyebrows was part of the package, so I got them done. Well, it's been a week or two, but she shaved some of the eyebrows. I feel clean. Okay, I ain't seen nobody cross their legs. Almost nobody crosses their legs. Like, doing the this leg cross, uncommon. One where like you put your ankle on top of your thigh, like that is not common. Probably because it takes up too much space, and people don't like to burden others or be rude to others. So I don't see that ever. Even if there is plenty of space, people don't do that. At most, people do like this one, but people don't do the ankle on the top of the thigh, which sucks for me because I love that position. It's like you get a good stretch on your groin. Just feels good for my lower back too. Oh yeah, this is not specific to Japan. It's just something I didn't know because I'm a stupid American. But apparently there's this thing called a working holiday, where if you're under 30, sadly I can never do that again because I'm over 30. But if you're under 30, you get to like work abroad for a year. I wish I had that opportunity when I was younger and not in America. Damn. But yeah, Whoever has a working holiday, please take it. I wish I took it. Alright, take everything for a grain of salt. This is just what I'm seeing, and it could just be I'm in a skewed little like bubble that I didn't realize. But in trains, I see a lot of like people, like particularly women, when they stand in the train, they actually face the doors. Like they stand by the doors and they face the doors while the train's moving, which is very uncommon because in New York, most people put their backs to the door and face the inside of the train because who knows who could attack you from inside the train. There's just too many crazies in the train, so you can't be having your back to them, which is why I think people do that. But over here, since it's so safe, they can have their back to the people and their face to the train, so they don't have to make awkward eye contact with people. At least that's what I theorize. But I did notice that. And I did notice that was not everyone does it, but it's a lot more common in Japan than anywhere. There's surprisingly a lot of Italian restaurants here, and apparently there has been a boom because there's a good match between like Japanese food and Italian food because people wanted a break from the expensive French cuisine food, and Italian food was just a good match for affordable and yet tasty food, I think. Okay, if you're wondering why I moved this camera over here, is because I've been talking towards the wall and I have a neighbor who lives there and I heard a lot of movement over there, so I think maybe they've been hearing me this whole time and now I'm very self-conscious about it. A lot of like the hair services or any kind of like those things, there's a culture to like see you off, so they'll like walk with you all the way to the elevator and keep saying bye and bow to you until you leave, which I appreciate. Very touching. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel special, even though you probably do that to everyone. To me, that is not common, and I feel special every time. Thank you. Here's a random foreigner thing that happened to me. Just watch out. But on some of these tablets, when you change the language to English, they just start shouting in English. Like the tablet is just like, welcome to blah, blah, blah. Be very careful about changing the language unless you want everyone to know you're a gaijin, because that's what be happening to me. Not all tablets, but some tablets. The moment you change the language, every button you press is going to be screaming at you in English.
After confirming that, please select your payment method.
Cabs here are very expensive compared to like everything else. I think the cab from the airport to my home was probably one of the most expensive things I spent here. Yeah, careful for that. So yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe I'll make another one of these videos if you guys found that interesting, but I'm sure there's a lot more I just didn't think about. Yeah.